Hey everyone, this is Mark. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another video. Hope you all are doing great on this fine Wednesday. So today's video, I am going to do a side by side comparison of what is my favorite album, maybe yours too, Elvis's Golden Records Volume 3. I was first introduced to this album. I think I got this record for, I want to say it was my 12th birthday. It would have been a later pressing. It would have been the black, in fact, it was the black label with the black RCA logo and Nipper, the dog on the right. So that's the one I had, but I played that album to death. Loved it then, was my favorite album at the tender age of 12, and to this very day, many years later, it is still my favorite album. So I just thought it would be really cool to come on and do a comparison, a listen, so to speak, and see what you think, and I'll give you my thoughts on how each of them sound. I do have a couple other versions, but I want to focus on these three. So this is the original 1963 pressing. As you can see, it is in stereo. And this is the first, it's still in the shrink. As you can see, the cover is in very nice condition. I actually got this from somebody on Discogs. There's the back. I actually got this from somebody on Discogs probably a month or so ago. Had it for a really nice price. I've been wanting a beautiful copy for a while. It's got the original inner sleeve. So it happened at the World's Fair is the last one on here. So so I got this and I put it on. I did clean it. It didn't really need to be cleaned. Side 2 had a couple little like scuff marks. I did clean it really nice just a few moments ago. And then I put it on and it is, as my dad used to say, it is quiet as a church mouse. Absolutely no surface noise whatsoever. You can see the label. You can see the vinyl. It's immaculate. The label is perfect. No spindle marks. So I'm seeing a couple little marks here and there, but don't believe it affects play. But this is the silver top RCA label, as you can see. No spindle marks on that. Just a beautiful record. And I got this, like I said, I got this for a really nice price. I've seen it for well over $100 to find one in this condition. You're talking a almost 60-year-old record. And I did put it on right before I pressed record on this, virtually silent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the opening song. I'm going to pause this video. I'll come back and I'm going to let you listen to how quiet it is. And it's just, like I said, it sounds as good as the day it was cracked open. And it makes me wonder how often, if ever, this was played. You can see the picture, like it is immaculate. So I'm going to pause this video, put this on. Again, this is the 1963 LSP 2765. This is the stereo version. Looking to maybe get a mono version of it. Probably not quite as good, exceptional condition as this, but real close. But hold tight, and I'll be right back. All right. Couple small, very slight ticks, but I moved my speaker over here out some. What can I do with my, there we go. Sounds amazing. It's a great way to open this album too. I always like to play parts of the music. I can't play it all because YouTube would probably shoot me down, but nice bass. Just hear how good the vocals sound, the instrumentation. My soul surrender. I spent a lifetime waiting for the right time. Now that you're near, the time is here at last. I wanted to give you a general idea of how this version sounds. I'm going to pause it again, and I'm going to put on. This is the Speaker's Corner edition. What's nice about Speaker's Corner is they make an exact replica of the album. And again, this is the LSP 2765. So I'm curious, some people don't care for Speaker's Corner. I really like them, so I'm going to put this on. Same song, and I'll see what you guys think. So hold tight. I'll be right back. All right. Again, this is the Speaker's Corner. There may be a slight difference, but by ear, it might be a tight, a little bit cleaner as far as audio. Sounds incredible. Now with the original, I said this is the original. This is the first pressing of it. I said I got this from a seller on Discogs. I want to say I paid maybe $35 for it with shipping. As you can see, it's still in the shrink. And like I said, I doubt if it was played, it was only played once or twice. But it was perfectly spotless. Like you say, just there's a price tag. Didn't notice there's a price tag on the bottom. But I was thrilled to get this. All right. So yeah, there is. If there is a difference, it's not a huge upgrade. But I love lost my train of thought. Hold on, I'll think of it. Speaker's Corner. I love the Speaker's Corner. I had this one. I know they've released several. I have the Elvis's Christmas album, and I like their releases because it's true to the original releases. Like this one, you can't say it, that's on, but it's a silver top. It's a silver top stereo, and as you can see, it does have the LSP stereo, same exact art design. I got this probably a year and a half, 2 years ago. So with that, I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to put on the next version. Just to let you know, the next one is 45 RPM. It is Original Recordings Group. This one's hard to find. I lucked out getting this one. I got this about the same time as I got the first pressing of this. In fact, before I put it on the turntable, I will show you. I'm actually going to play It's Now or Never, but I'm also going to play I'll turn it all the way down because I'm afraid if I play the whole thing, YouTube will strike me. So this is a gatefold, which is really cool. It has to be because it's a double album. There's the back of the album on the inside, and this is just a track listing. But yeah, I picked this up. This is through Sony Music. Oh wow, that's right. It is numbered. I remember reading that number. Is that 851? Number 851. Sony Music. This came out in 2013. It says originally released 1963. RCA Records, a division of Sony Music Entertainment. Trademarks, Elvis Presley and Elvis, or trademarks, Elvis Presley Enterprises. Original Recordings Group.com. So yeah, this one is very difficult to get your hands on. I think I got this on Discogs too. I got it brand new. So let's look at the vinyl itself. Again, Again, they put them in these plastic sleeves. So let's carefully take it out. I think I want to replace these sleeves. But it's kind of odd to look at because it is 45 RPM. Beautiful, beautiful. And these two and the Speaker's Corner, they're on heavyweight vinyl, 180 gram. I mean, this one may even be 200 gram. This is really heavy, really thick. You can see how thick it is. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, look how thick that is compared to the original release in '63. But the Speaker's Corner is the very same way. It's real. I noticed that right away. As soon as I took it out of the sleeve, it's very heavy, probably twice the weight of the original. But as you can see, they reproduced. It is again the RCA Victor silver label. It says stereo on it, LSP 2765. As you can see, the dead wax, there's only 3 songs on each side because it is pressed on at 45 revolutions per minute. And there is side B. All right, so I'm going to pause this. I'm thinking this is going to sound the best from what it's saying and the reviews I've heard on this. As far as reading them, I haven't seen anybody do a YouTube video review on this, so hopefully I'm the first. But I have read reviews on it, and like I said, it is very difficult to find at a reasonable price. Like I said, I lucked out on this because I bought this from something from Discogs, and I can't remember what I paid for it, but it was very reasonable. I was very pleased with what I got. I got it quick. Like I said, it is just a stunningly, just a very beautiful pressing. So yeah, I'm going to pause this now. We'll listen to It's Now or Never on that, and then I'll pause it again, and I'll put on a different track so you can hear a different song other than It's Now or Never. Playing each one, It's Now or Never, is just to give you a comparison. So hold tight. I'll be right back. All right. So I am back. Now, I will say with this third and final version, again, this is made by ORG, Original Recordings Group, through RCA and Sony. Yeah, sonically, it's a little more in your face. Now, I will say, compared to my heart was captured. If I can get out of that. My soul surrendered. They have these are Analog Productions. I believe. I think some of these might be 45 RPM too. The Analog Productions are the cleanest, clearest copy you'll find. I will say, in comparison with this, it's not the same. These sound fantabulous. That's my word, fantabulous. These sound like you're in the studio with Elvis. Like he's right across from you, sitting on a stool, talking to his engineers and his musicians. Now, that's not to say that this does not sound good. It does. Sonically, it sounds good. Good bass, good instrumentation, great vocals by Elvis. Just like a willow. That's where I think the difference is. His vocals are cleaner and clearer and more in your face. I think you can hear that too. And sweet devotion, your lips excite me. Let your arms invite me. Just listen a little bit more of this. For who knows when we'll meet again this way. So yeah, it definitely has a you don't hit this right on the, doesn't hit that little eye. It doesn't always work. It's through my speakers, so I got a speaker here and I got another speaker over there. Yeah, it definitely sounds cleaner, and like I said, his vocals on this version, on this pressing, is definitely clearer and, like I said, a little more in your face, which I do like. The music sounds clean, very nice acoustics. So we'll listen to We'll listen to the next song. This next song is one of my daughter's favorite Elvis songs, Stuck on You. She loves it. Sometimes if I'll be working, she'll send me a text from Amazon Music with a picture of the song. It's usually either this one or Burning. Burning Love's her other favorite. So yeah, in honor of her, we're going to play that one next, at least part of it. I can't play all of it because I'll get struck. You can shake an apple off an apple tree. See this song, and I know it's in my head. This song sounds better than the last song. It just sounds really clear. I'm gonna stick like glue. Stick because I'm stuck on you. I'm gonna run my fingers through your long black hair and squeeze you tighter than a grizzly bear. Yes, sir. I'm gonna stick like glue. Stick because I'm stuck on you. Hide in the kitchen, hide in the hall. It's one of my favorite songs on this album too. I love this song. Cause once I catch you on the kissing stars, a team of wild horses couldn't tear it apart. I thought I'd take the tiger on this daddy's side, and that's how the love is gonna keep us tied. So yeah, I just wanted to do a review. So I would say each successive one I did sounded better than the last. The original 1963 pressing sounded spectacular, sounded great. But then you had the Speaker's Corner, which wasn't a huge upgrade, honestly, but it was a little cleaner. The vocals were popped a little bit more. Like I said, I love Speaker's Corner. And then this one, although it's not as clean and clear as the Analog Productions, for Elvis is back, and I think there's 24 Karat Hits, and then the Essential Elvis that came out through Analog Productions. Those are the best sounding albums I've ever heard in my life. But this one is definitely an upgrade over the other two that we played. Like I said, vocals pop more; they're a little bit more in your face. Just sounds very good acoustically, and good bass, great instrumentation. So we'll close out with this song. I love this album. I love every single song on this album. It resonates with me all these years. It's a childhood favorite. So that's why I wanted to do this video too. But tell me what you think in the comments. Which one did you... I know it's kind of hard hearing if you're not in the room with me here. You're hearing it through the phone or laptop, whatever device you're on, computer you're on. So hopefully you got a good idea of how it sounded. Like I said, for me personally, I liked each successive one a little bit better than the last. Actually, I think this version, the double LP on the 45 RPM, because it is at better speed and they can compress the music better on the vinyl. It's definitely a nice upgrade. And like I said, I would probably go, I've seen it on eBay, but for stupid money. A lot of times if you go on Discogs, like I said, I got this brand new, it was in the package. I think the thing was, because it's kind of like the Friday Music where you tear off the perforated edge. It was partially torn open, but brand new, never played. And I'm very happy with it. Got it for a really fantastic price. So was really glad to add it. You can find it. I know the acousticsounds.com, or I think that's the website where I got some of the other the Analog Productions. They have this listed, but it's long been sold out. So yeah, you kind of got to do your own research and hunting for it, but it's out there. It can be had. So I did want to touch base on one other quick thing. I did a live stream, which I just finished a little while ago. It should be up soon if you want to go back and watch that. But yesterday, before I started my shift, I was going through, I was on the YouTube app, and I think I even went to YouTube Studios, and I clicked something, and I don't know if I did it by accident or what I did, but I get alerts whenever you all liked or left a comment for any of my videos. I always get an alert on my phone. It pops up. It'll show that I got alert, who it's from, part of what it said, but it cuts off, and then I can click on it. It'll take me to my YouTube channel, to my YouTube page, and I can read the comments. I set that up as a notification long time ago when I set up my YouTube app, and then when I got my channel back in December, give me 1 second. I keep thinking there's more songs, but okay. So sorry about that. There's only three songs on that side because it's 45 RPMs. But I had noticed all these comments that I had never seen before. And like I said, my finger hit something, or I got curious and saw something on the bottom of the app, the different tabs, and I clicked on it. And for the last 3 weeks, I'm seeing all these comments from people that I never know I got. I never got a notification for it. And my first thought is like, oh no, I don't want my subscribers and my viewers thinking that I'm ignoring them, not acknowledging them, and not commenting. Because if you go back, I always try to acknowledge and comment. I don't always comment, because let's be honest. If I comment on every single one I got, I wouldn't get anything done. It would be an all-day thing. Not an all-day thing, because it's not like I get, comments all day. But if I got the ones I didn't get notifications for, and there were several, it would take me a while to respond to each of them. But I always try to acknowledge every single one with a like, and in some cases I will comment. If somebody asks me a specific question, if I own something, what my thought or opinion on something is, or I'm asked a direct question, I'm going to respond. I'm going to answer you. But I had noticed all these missed comments that I got. So my first thought is, I don't want anybody ever for a minute to think that I didn't acknowledge you, that I'm too good to acknowledge you. That's furthest from the truth. I value and appreciate each and every one of my viewers, my subscribers. I couldn't do this channel if it weren't for you. The success that I've gotten in the last 9 months, and how quickly my channel grown, that's all attributed. That's not me. That's you all. And I'm very thankful and appreciative, especially for each and every one of you. So I did want to put that out there. I did go back then, and you're probably saying, man, 3 weeks later, he's acknowledging me. But I did want to at least take the time, to do that, because I don't want to think that I forgot about you. That was not the case at all. It was, like I said, I thought I was getting notifications for everything, and apparently I was not. As far as future content, just to touch base, sorry, real quick. As far as some future content, I had gotten some requests. Marcus, who has his own channel, Marcus's channel for Elvis and More, check his channel out. He and I converse back and forth. He asked me to do a video on some of my odd LPs, my odd vinyl. Odd vinyl meaning just stuff you don't see every day. So yeah, I want to do that soon. I really want to focus, my last one I did a review on the Camden RCA, the blue label of Almost in Love. I want to continue that as a series. I want to do, and tell me what you think about it in the comments. I want to do a review on each one, because I think they deserve a spot. A lot of people don't care for them. A lot of people think that they're not that great. I will tell you, I like each and every one of the Camdens. I'm talking about the original Camdens that were released. Of course, the first one was Flaming Star, and that was released through Singer in maybe it was 69, late 60. I think it was early 69. And it talked about Elvis's TV special, and it was a record that you would get through going into a Singer sewing machine store. And you also got handed a photo if you bought the record, like a bonus photo. Because usually with the soundtracks and things, they would pack the bonus photo inside the sealed album. You'd open it, and inside would be the photo. They didn't do it this way with that one. You bought the album, and then they handed you the photo. So I'm going to be doing a video on that. That'll probably be the next one. I'm actually, a good friend of mine who I met in the Elvis community had the bonus photo, and he's sending it to me. It's in the mail. It's on its way to me. And it looks immaculate. So I have an unplayed. I had a brand new. It was sealed. I opened it, but I had the Singer Presents with, I think it's like a mustard brown or yellow or something sleeve. And at the time, I didn't know if the photo came with it. And then I kind of did my research. I think I Googled it, and it talked about how it was handed out like maybe when you went to the register, they had a stack of them they handed you when you bought the album. So, but I want to do a review on each of them because I think they're all good. They all have their rightful place. Some better, most of them are good. I love, my favorite is probably Almost in Love. I love Come On Everybody, a great group of songs. I really enjoy I Got Lucky. I personally like, because it was the first full-length album I got. My mom got it for me when I think I was 5. Burning Love and Hits from His Movies. The Separate Ways one. I like them all. The only one that I'm not real keen on, I think it was pretty much a swing and a miss, was the 1972 release of Elvis Sings Hits from His Movies, the first volume. Not one of my favorites. Not one that sees my turntable, really ever. The other ones I will listen to. I'll even stream. If I'm at work, you can get them on Apple Music. They have the majority of them, but I enjoy them. So I want to do a video, and I'm finding out there's a lot of fans out there that do really enjoy the Camden records, and they're collectible. They can be had for a decent price, and I have all of them. A couple of them are international pressings, but they are the same record. So I'll plan on doing a review of that. So a lot of good things coming up in the days and weeks ahead. So as always, thank you so much for supporting my channel, for liking and subscribing. For those watching for the first time, feel free to subscribe, and so you get these videos to pop up. And I'm thankful for each and every one of you, and for what you guys mean to my channel. I really appreciate it. I couldn't do it without you. So with that, stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and until next time, bye.